Yeah, I want to talk about elephants, rhinos, hippos, and the big giant dinosaurs. Argentinsaurus, uh, Paleosaurus, Diplodocus, Brachiosaurus, and Brontosaurus, to be specific. But let's go back to the elephant first. The elephant has a tail 1.5 meters long, or about 4.9 feet. The rhino's tail is 28 to 39 inches long. That's about 2 to 3 feet, or 70 to 100 centimeters. The hippo's tail is 14 to 22 inches long, or 35 to 56 centimeters long. Now, the reason I'm telling you the lengths of the tail is because I'll tell you about that here in a little bit, so just keep your mind on the length. The longest is the elephant with 1.5 meters or 4.9 feet, and then the next one is longest would be the rhino at 28 to 39 inches or 2 to 3 feet, and that's 70 to 100 centimeters long. And then there's the hippo with the shortest tail of all. It ain't even 2 feet or 56 centimeters. So that's what we want to concentrate on, the tail, the lengths of the tail. And then about the elephant doesn't drink water with its mouth. It dips its trunk down into the water, draws up water into its trunk, and then shoots the water into its mouth. So keep that in mind too as I read something to you. And I'll be reading that here in a little bit too. The first dinosaur bone was found in 1677, and they thought it was a large human bone because they didn't know about dinosaurs, and that was 348 years ago. Then in 1824, that's when they started calling it a dinosaur. Well, they didn't call it a dinosaur, but they knew it wasn't a human bone, and that was 201 years ago. Just 201 years ago. Then in 1842, they started calling it the dinosaur. They used to call it a dragon, a leviathan, or a behemoth, and that was 183 years ago. Now, the Bible was started 3,500 years ago. Now I want you to know the size of a cedar tree. A cedar tree is anywhere from 30 to 50 feet tall. And it has a diameter at the bottom about 20 feet. So remember the cedar tree. And now here I want to talk to you about Argentinsaurus. Argentinsaurus was anywhere from 100 to 130 feet long, or 35 meters. And Paleosaurus was 23 meters, or 75 feet. Dilophosaurus was 100 feet. And Brachiosaurus was a little bit smaller. And then Brontosaurus was 22 meters long, or 72 feet. So these are big, huge animals that weighed tons, like 20 to 30 to 50 tons. We're talking about huge animals. Now, I want to read out of the Bible. This is Job, J-O-B, Job 40:15. And this is what it says. Behold the behemoth, which I made with thee. He eateth grass as an ox. 40:16. Lo now, his strength is in his loins, his force is in his belly. Job 40:17. He moveth his tail like a cedar. There's where that tree comes in. So they can't be talking about an elephant because an elephant don't have a cedar tree tail. The rhino doesn't have a cedar tree tail, and neither does the hippo. So that eliminated them in the tail department right there. It says his leg bones are as strong pieces as brass. His bones are like bars of iron. His rib bones are like bars of iron. Job 40:20. Surely the mountains bring forth food. This thing eats mountains. Job 40:23. He drinketh up the river, and he draws the Jordan River into his mouth. Well, that right there eliminated the elephant again. See, the elephant drinks with his trunk, so he can't drink with his mouth. So that eliminated the elephant with the cedar tree tail and drinking with his mouth. So let's take a look. I got my other phone right here. Let's take a look. I'm going to pop up a cedar tree. Here's a cedar tree. Here's the base of it down here. And you can see that thing goes up probably 30, 40, 50 feet. And down at the bottom. Now, let me turn it side. Well, I can't turn it sideways. It won't go sideways. All right. There. Now, keep that picture in your mind. Here's Argentinsaurus. That little dot right there is a man standing beside this big, huge thing. Now look at his tail. Now would you say that looks more like a cedar tree than a elephant or a rhinoceros or a hippo? The Bible was written 3,500 years ago. And man didn't discover dinosaur bones until 300 years ago. 348 years ago. So the Bible is describing dinosaurs. Well, you say, well, that could be possible. But you see, I eliminated the elephant twice. I eliminated the elephant twice with drinking with its mouth, and its tail don't look like a cedar tree. I eliminated the rhinoceros tail because it's nowhere near looking like a cedar tree, and neither is a hippopotamus. Well, if it says that, does it say anything about cavemen? Well, let's turn to Genesis. We're going to see if it says anything about cavemen. Genesis 1:26. And God said, let us make man in our own image, after our own likeness. Okay. I'm going to turn a page here. Let's see. Genesis 1:27. God created man in his own image. In the image of God, he created him. Male and female, he created them. Well, you say, well, he's talking about Adam and Eve. Well, no, he ain't talking about Adam and Eve, because Adam wasn't made until Genesis 2:7. And Eve wasn't made until Genesis 2:22. So that male and female that he said he created them, he's talking about cavemen. Just like he's talking about dinosaurs. And man hadn't discovered a dinosaur. And let's read back here at Job again. At Job 40:18. It says, his leg bones are strong as pieces of brass, and his rib bones are like bars of iron. Bones. That's what we're finding now of dinosaurs. Bones. And it's speaking of the bones. It don't say his leg, his entire leg with meat on it. See, the meat has already rotted off the bones, just like dinosaurs have nowadays. There's another thing pointing at dinosaurs. So, and anything that I got 8 Bibles. I got 8 Bibles, and I just enjoy reading. So, I haven't found a lie in the Bible yet. And Tony asked me what I did when I, got out of high school or during high school, or what I did in my life. And I took all kinds of classes in school, especially in 9th and 10th and 11th and 12th grades. I took drafting and auto mechanics and welding and all kinds of things. So if you ever need to know anything about Bible scripture, let me know. I'll answer it, because I can find the answers. I haven't found a single lie yet, like I said, so. And I can surely find it. With 8 Bibles. I've got the Holy Bible, Holy Scriptures, 2 or 3 King James versions. They're dated anywhere from 1611, 1881, 1883, 1885, 1901, 1921. So, if you have any questions, ask. I'll point them out to you, or try to answer them the best way I can. Thank you for watching.